a book or magazine and you saw a beautiful picture and you want to learn how to make that picture yourself or take it. And there's a lot of effort that goes into taking these types of pictures. You have to get the perfect shot, and then after you feel like you have a good shot and it has great exposure, you go and you take it into an editing software such as Lightroom. As a person who loves taking pictures, has edited many pictures and taken a couple courses in photography, I just want to show you how to understand to get the perfect picture. I think pictures are beautiful, and I love how creative they can be and show the different side of who you are. Well, there's always a first step in getting into photography, and that's picking out the right camera for you. There are different types of companies and different types of cameras, but today I'm going to talk about the DSLR camera, which is a digital single lens reflect camera. And you can go into different types of companies. There's Sony, Nikon, and Canon. Those are the main three companies that people will buy from. The camera that I use, I got in a bundle off of Amazon, and this is it without the lens. It's called the Canon T5 Rebel. It's pretty nice. It was pretty cheap, only about $500. And this is it with the lens on. You just twist it on, and you can adjust it. Okay. And I chose this camera app because it had many good reviews, and I saw a lot of people actually use this camera and they say that it works very well for them. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is the basic settings of a camera, such as aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Okay? Shutter speed is the duration of the amount of light that is let into the camera. And I'm going to show you something. This inside the camera, you can actually flip this little mirror up, and this is where the shutter speed is taking place, which I recommend that you don't do unless you're very experienced with cameras. And that's the little mirror to help the light go in. And then the next is aperture. And you can actually see on my camera, I don't know how well it'll show on this, but if you zoom in and out, the aperture is getting smaller and bigger. This is the amount of light that is let into the camera, such as a pupil on the eye. And the other thing is ISO. And ISO is just how sensitive the camera is to light. But watch out, because the higher the ISO, the more your image is going to look grainy. Okay, and I'm going to give you some techniques about using each of these. When you use shutter speed, if you use a very slow shutter speed, you're going to want to use a tripod. Because if you don't use a tripod, your hand can cause shake because of how long that the camera is going to take to actually snap the picture. This is very helpful. And then when you use aperture, you're just going to want to base it off what your shutter speed and your ISO is, as well as with ISO. But make sure you use the lower ISO. And all of these come together to work on exposure. Like adding one or putting more on the other one can create a lighter exposure or a darker exposure, and you always want to lean towards a brighter exposure because you can go and edit it back in Lightroom. And next I'm going to talk to you about the tools that helped me understand these things. So at one point in my time, I couldn't take any classes on photography, and I wanted to learn. So I bought this book, The Visual Toolbox: 60 Lessons for Stronger Photographs by David Duchovny. And this book is a lesson in itself. It's like a whole class. Every chapter he gives you something to do, and you go out and do it, and you learn, and he explains it very well. And he tells you to stay in manual mode, because manual mode is the key to learning how to take pictures, because you will understand what you're going to have to do. And when I say manual mode, there are different modes on the camera. These are them. And there are 4 manual modes, but only one is the actual manual mode. The other 3, you can adjust the shutter speed, and then the camera will choose the settings for the aperture and ISO. And then there are 6 other ones, and those are automatic modes, where the camera will choose what it wants your settings to be, and it feels like it'll take the best picture. Another book that I used that was very helpful is How to Photograph Absolutely Everything. This was very helpful to me because it gives you examples how to take pictures of weddings or take pictures of nature. Like anything that you want to take pictures of, it has it in here. I use this all the time. And not only books that have helped me, also YouTube videos, believe it or not. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on taking pictures, and they really helped explain to me because I'm more of a visual learner and I want people to tell me what I should do. Well, I hope that everything that I have told you has helped you towards your camera career. Just don't forget the type of camera you want to get. Mine is this Rebel T5. And don't forget to get many sources to help you learn what you want to take pictures of and how to take pictures. For instance, there's the shutter speed, the ISO, the exposure. They all work together. And the aperture, they all work together to make a good exposure. And I hope that I helped you with everything. Thank you for your time.